This one is called Scions and Spellcraft, and it's all about slinging some spells and getting payoffs for slinging those spells. Again, we are giving these decks away. This is the 4th installment. This is the final deck that we're doing, so it's been a pleasure. It's been fun, and we may have saved the best for last. This deck is pretty darn good. I'm just right out of the gate. This was another one that was very hard to cut. Again, they added a ton of legendary creatures, which just, you know, it's like, I'm not going to cut anything that's from the set, so we keep the flavor on point as much as possible. What we do cut is probably more or less just an upgrade versus just outright bad card. So again, kudos to Wizards. They made some really good decks this go around for these Final Fantasy decks, which is, it makes sense because Final Fantasy is a massive IP, so they wanted to do it right, and they did that, I believe. So if you want to compete for these decks, we're giving them all away. All 4 decks, we're giving them away. All you got to do is like and subscribe to, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and then make a thoughtful comment on the video about maybe the upgrades we did, maybe some of the lore behind this Final Fantasy. This one is from Final Fantasy 14 XIV. Yes, this one's all about spell slinging again. These also have very difficult names, so again, I apologize if I butcher this, especially if this is your favorite game ever. I promise I'm not trying to do it any harm by giving it incorrect names or mispronunciations from my awesome southern accent. Yeah, and without further ado, let's just dive into the deck. Thank you again for everyone who has competed this far. The comments have been flooding in. It's been great to see about some of the lore, so please keep it up. It's been awesome. But let's talk about the face commander for this deck. This is Yashatla, Knight's Blessed. She is a legendary creature, Cat Warlock, that is 1 a white, a blue, a black for a 2/4 with vigilance, which means she does not tap when she attacks. It says at the beginning of each end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, you draw a card. On top of that, wait, there's more. It's the theme of all these cards. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, Yashatla deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. Seems pretty good. Just to be able to like spell sling and get immediate payoffs with your commander like that. You're in the right colors for spell slinging. White, blue, black, absolutely going to be great for some of this. Let's talk about some of the new cards. We got a new artifact. This is Astrologians Planisphere. Astrologians Planisphere. That's a tough word to say. It's 1 in a blue. This artifact has Job Select. When this equipment enters, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token, then attach this to it. Equipped creature is a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. I just crossed IPs. That might be forbidden. In addition to its other types, it has whenever you cast a non-creature spell and whenever you draw your 3rd card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And then it has Damia, equipped 2. Is that a word for Final Fantasy 14 for equipping? Maybe. Let me know about the lore on that one. Maybe I'm confused here. After that, we have Blue Mage's Cane for 2 in a blue. This is another equipment artifact with Job Select again. So when it comes in, when it enters, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token, then attach that to it. Attach the equipment to it, and the equipped creature gets +0/+2. Is a wizard in addition to its other types, and has whenever this creature attacks, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from defending player's graveyard. If you do, copy it. You may cast a copy by paying 3 rather than paying its mana cost. That's bonkers. And then it has Spirit of the what? Spirit of the Wallachwe. Good lord, these names. Spirit of the Wallachwe for equipped 2. These have to be some kind of like phrases or something that's specific to this set. Yeah, that has to be the case here. I apologize for butchering these names. Some of them are pretty wild. We have Dancer's Chakrams for 3 and a white. Has Job Select again. So these are the jobs have to be like on theme with this deck. Job Select, when this equipment enters, create a 1/1 colors hero creature token, then attach this to it. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. Has lifelink, and other commanders you control get +2/+2 and have lifelink, and is a performer in addition to its other types. So this job is performers. Okay. And then it has Krishna, equipped 3. All right, cool. I dig it. After that, we've got Sage's Nowliths. These names are going to kill me. 1 in a blue, Job Select again, which makes the hero, you attach it to it. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has whenever this creature attacks, untap target attacking creature, and is a cleric in addition to its other types. And this one is Hagnia. Good God. Hagnia, equip 3. So each one has that unique name, and then the unique name, it looks like an ability, but it's just the equip cost. So it's like the relevant to maybe like what Final Fantasy is for equipping, possibly. You know, I don't know. Come butcher me in the comments for all that. And then the last one we have is white Auracite or Auracite for 2 and 2 white. When this artifact enters, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until this artifact leaves the battlefield, so it detains it essentially. But it's also a mana rock because it taps for 1 white, which is nice because this deck needs all the help it can get when it comes to mana. Then let's talk about a new instant. We've got Transpose. This is 2 and a black for an instant that says, a wall of text, draw a card, then discard a card. You lose 1 life. If this spell was cast from your hand, create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. So there's another payoff ability for your spell slinging. And then it has rebound. If you cast this spell from your hand, exile it. As it resolves at the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast this card from exile without paying its mana cost, so you don't get the 0/1 black wizard again. But still pretty cool, especially if you can get this card back in your hand and keep casting it. That's pretty fun. After that, we've got some new enchantments. We've got Champions from Beyond. We've got X and 2 white for an enchantment that says whenever this enchantment enters, create X 1/1 colorless hero creature tokens. So X is whatever you pay into it additionally. And then it has Light Party. Whenever you attack with 4 or more creatures, scry 2, then draw a card. And then it has Full Party. Whenever you attack with 8 or more creatures, those creatures get +4/+4 until end of turn. So it's a great token payoff, just enchantment right there. Then we've got Eye of Nidhogg. Eye of Nidhogg is 2 and a black for legendary enchantment Aurora. Enchant creature, and the enchant creature is a black dragon with base power and toughness 4/2, has flying and death touch, and is goaded, which is interesting. So you can goad something with this and make it pretty big. And then it says whenever Eye of Nidhogg is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return it to its owner's hand. Pretty cool. That's a unique one. Observe Stasis is 3 and a blue for a new enchantment. That is also an Aurora. It has flash, so you can play it at instant speed, which is good. So that's almost like another piece of our spell slinging, because you know we're trying to cast non-creature spells to get our commanders payoff. But enchant creature and opponent controls. When this aura enters, remove an enchanted creature from combat, then draw a card for each tapped creature its controller controls. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and can't attack or block. So if you time this right, you're going to get to a lot of draws, and essentially you're neutralizing a threat, which is pretty cool. After that, we've got some new creatures. We have a ton, so sit back and grab some popcorn. So we'll talk about some new legendary creatures that are from Final Fantasy 14, which is pretty fun. We've got Alicel, good lord, these names. Leveler. This is an elf wizard that partners with Alafanad Leveler. Has first strike, and it has dual cast. The second spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. And then speaking of Alphanod, he is 3 and a blue for a legendary creature elf wizard that is 2/4. That has partner with Alice. Yeah. It has vigilance, and then has a mechanic called Eucrasia. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, draw a card. So they both have a little payoff there for the second spell you cast, which is pretty fun. And again, all these legendary creatures they've put in these commander precons have been like super flavorful and something that you probably want to play, you know, as its own commander deck. So there's tons of opportunity to build stuff within these decks. After that, we've got Ardbert, Warrior of Darkness. He's a spirit warrior that is 1 white and a black. Whenever you cast a white spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each legendary creature you control. They gain vigilance until end of turn. Whenever you cast a black spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each legendary creature you control. They gain menace until end of turn. So really cool way to close games out, especially if you have a wide board of like tokens and stuff, and you're casting, you know, white and black spells. Pretty fun card. Following that, we have Emmet Selch of the Third Seat. 2 a blue and a black for an Elder Wizard. He is a 3/4. Spells you cast from your graveyard cost 2 less to cast, so that's fun. Whenever 1 or more opponents lose life, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile instead. Do this only once each turn. Pretty fun because he like plays right into his other mechanics, so really good card there. Then we have Estienne Varlanu. I'm butchering these names so bad. Estienne Varleneu. These sound very French to me. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. 2 a white and a black for legendary creature, elf warrior. That is a 3/3. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Estienne. It gains flying until end of turn. At the beginning of your second main phase, you draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the number of your opponents who were dealt combat damage by Estienne or a dragon this turn. Nice. So he's interesting for a dragon card too. Pretty cool. After that, we've got another very easy name to pronounce, and that is Fandaniel Telefori Asian. Just rolls right off the tongue. 4 and a black for a legendary creature. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, surveil 1. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent may sacrifice a non-token creature of their choice. Each opponent who doesn't loses 2 life for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. That's really on theme because we're going to be spell slinging a lot. It's cool to see that most of these legendaries all have that payoff of either wanting to recast instants and sorceries from your graveyard, or like, you know, do something, or when you cast, you know, you're getting the payoff for it. So the deck's really done a good job of that. We have Gahra Tia, the Scion Reborn. This is a cat wizard. This is the secondary commander. She is a white, a blue, black with lifelink. So whenever she deals combat damage, or damage in general, she can gain you life. And then Throw Wide in the Gates is a mechanic. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay X life, where X is that spell's mana value. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token and put X +1/+1 counters on it. Do this only once each turn. Pretty cool. Again, it's just another way of paying off, like, casting non-creature spells. This one just generates tokens, which is great because we have lots of ways to make those tokens big and go wide and hopefully win the game. So a lot of payoffs here. Then we've got Hermes, Overseer of Ellipse, or Elpis. 3 and a blue for an Elder Wizard, 2/4. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying and vigilance. And then whenever you attack with 1 or more birds, scry 2. I mean, that's, again, it's just crazy. Like, all these legendary creatures have so much text and abilities. There's just so many good commanders that you can build out of this. Following that, we've got Hildebrand Manderville, which is, they brought back, like, On an Adventure, like from Throne of Eldraine and Wilds of Eldraine. And then on the instant side, you've got Gentleman's Rise. So for the creature side, he is 1 and a white, but for his On an Adventure side, for the instant adventure, it is 2 and a black. You get to create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. And then on the creature side, creature tokens you control get +1/+1. So another way to pay off those tokens we're making. And then whenever Hildebrand Manderville dies, you may cast it from your graveyard as an adventure until the end of your next turn. So you get to repeat. That's pretty cool. So you get to redo the on adventure side, which is really fun. And then we've got these names: Hrazvulgur, Hasvrolgul of the First Brood. This is an Elder Dragon for 4 and a blue, flying, vigilance, ward 2, Shiva's Aid. I know Shiva. Shiva's been in a lot of the Final Fantasy games, like as the magic. Whenever this creature enters the end, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, a target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn and can't be blocked this turn. It's a 5/5. So whenever it enters, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, target creature. So yeah, just another way to, like, make something really big and then give it unblockable, essentially, and try to win the game that way, even with your commander. And lots of things that want to see your commander attack truly, which is really fun. So it's like almost an aggro-ish way to do it. After that, we have Kryl, Baldison, Dwarf Wizard, 2/1 with lifelink, has Trace Ether. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may return target creature card with mana value equal to that spell's mana value from your graveyard to your hand. Do this only once each turn. A lot of recursion too, which is pretty fun here. So if someone gets rid of one of your pieces that's giving you payoffs for your spell slinging, you now can go get it back with this card, which is really nice. And then we've got Lice Hexed. Lice? You say this stuff. Good God. All right. We've got Lice Hexed. She is 1, a white, and a blue for a human rebel monk for a 2/2 with prowess. A lot of monks in Magic get the prowess ability. It says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn, which is nice. And then non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, so it gives reduction for our non-creature spells. So the spell slinging we're trying to do, this gives reduction, which is always welcome. And as long as you cast 2 or more non-creature spells this turn, she has double strike, which is really good. So way to beat face with one of your creatures here. After that, we've got Paplimo, Totlimo. What? Paplimo, Totlimo. Mo. Paplamo Totlimo. A dwarf wizard. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I should have had Daniel probably do this deck tech. He could probably say these names a little bit better than I can, or somebody. I should have done my homework and really like learned how to pronunciate. But it's more fun this way. You guys can go off on me in the comments and make fun of me, which is fun, right? Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, I'm just gonna say this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 1 life, and you can pay 4 to tap and sacrifice this creature. Each opponent who lost life this turn sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. Just more payoffs, which is really good. After that, we have our first summons for this deck. So we've seen these kind of throughout the Final Fantasy precons. This is summon God King Mog the 7th, which is really cool. I'm sorry, the 12th. This is 4 and a white as a creature. This is a Saga Moogle. Has flying, lifelink, and is a 4/4. Then it has 4 of your lore counters. And the first one says create 2 1/2 white Moogle creature tokens with lifelink. So if you're building a Moogle deck with all these new Moogles, you now have a really good Saga to add. And then 2 and 3 are the same. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell this turn, create a token that's a copy of a non-Saga token you control, which is pretty cool. And then the last Saga, put 2 +1/+1 counters on each other Moogle you control or not Saga lore counter. So pretty Moogle specific. Also has a payoff on chapters 2 and 3 for your non-creature spells, which is really nice. After that, we have Tataru Taro. Oh man, these names. I'm struggling so bad. It's like, after that we have Tataru Taru. After that we have Tataru Taru. This is a legendary creature dwarf advisor for 1 and a white that is a 0/3. Whenever Tataru Taru enters, you draw a card and target opponent may draw a card. So a little bit of group hug there if you want it to be. And then it has Scion Secretary. Whenever an opponent draws a card, if it isn't that player's turn, create a tap treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn. So you get an immediate payoff with the ability that whenever this creature ETBs. I like that. Then we've got Thancred Waters. I like that name. That's pretty cool. 4 and a white for a human warrior with that is a 3/5 and has flash, so you can play this at instant speed. And it has Royal Guard. Whenever Thancred Waters enters, another target legendary permanent you control gains indestructible for as long as you control Thancred Waters, which is nice. Way to protect your commander, which has a really good payoff for non-creature spells, so keeping her on the field is key for this deck. And then whenever you cast a non-creature spell, so another payoff, Thancred Waters himself gains indestructible until a turn, so a pretty cool redundancy there. I like that. It's just another way to keep him on the field, which keeps your commander on the field. After that, we've got Uranger Auguralt. Urangular Auguralt. These names. I made it through, probably like maybe got 2 of them right out of all the names. Again, I apologize. I just butchered it so bad. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion.
Nothing to see here, please!
This is 1 and a blue for a legendary creature. This is an elf advisor for a 1/3. Whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, you gain 2 life. And we've already seen some of the stuff that we can do with casting non-creature spells or creature spells out of the graveyard with some of these legendary creatures. And then it has Draw Arcanum. Tap this and look at the top card of your library. You may exile it face down. And then it has Play Arcanum. Tap it until end of turn. You may play cards exiled with this creature. Spells you cast this way cost 2 less to cast. So it already has like a way to pay off essentially like its first like mechanic there. So whenever you play a land from exile or spell from exile, you gain 2 life. So it just feeds right into that mechanic, which is really cool. I like that redundancy. That's pretty cool. All right, so those are the new cards in this new precon for Scions and Spellcraft. Again, they've just loaded it down with new legendary creatures. You got 17 new legendary creatures in this deck alone, plus the face commander makes it 18. So you've got 18 potential commanders you can run with this deck. 18 different decks you could even run with this deck. So I think ultimately, like if you're not a Final Fantasy fan, you're just a Magic fan, That's pretty exciting, especially if you play a lot of Commander, because that gives you a lot of opportunity to really build some decks. So just, you know, again, like, just a lot of fun. And each of these legendary creatures has a wall of text. Wait, well, there's more. I've said that every video, but wait, there's more. But let's get to the good stuff here. Let's talk about what we added and subtracted. Again, it's hard. They've made these decks very hard to cut because we don't cut anything that is new, and they put a lot of new stuff into this. Most of your precons and your regular sets, they maybe add 8 to new 10 cards. These are all hovering around like 20 to 25. So a good portion of the deck, a fourth of the deck almost, is new stuff. So very hard to cut that. And then besides that, they really went hard on these decks to make them good and playable right out of the box. So it just mechanically, a lot of stuff doesn't need to be cut, so just made our job hard, which is good for you because it's just really playable right out of the box without any additions. But let's talk about some additions and why we added them. The first card I wanted to add was Dismember. I really wanted to lean into the theme of playing cheap non-creature spells on our opponent's turns and stuff that had, like, you know, good value for it. So Dismember is really cool because it's 1 and 2 Phyrexian black mana. Now Phyrexian black mana essentially just means you can either pay the black like a normal swamp symbol or 2 life for that mana. So if you're down on mana, this is a really good card to have. Essentially all you would need to have up is 1 generic mana, and then you could pay 4 life to really play this spell. And then target creature gets -5/-5 until turn. Really good removal piece at instant speed. Immediate payoff for all of these non-creature spell payoffs we've talked about. And for that we cut we cut Crux of Fate. There was a dragon theme in there here, so I guess I kind of get why this card is here, for either like destroying all dragon creatures or all non-dragon creatures, but there's just very little of that. So I thought, you know, that's such a weird specific board wipe. Like, I don't see the mass benefit for it at 5 mana, so that's why I cut it. After that, we added Enduring Tenacity. This is one of the new enduring creatures from the Duskmourn set for 2 and 2 black. Really cool card because whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Our commander's already kind of getting us that life gain, so it's a really cool way to pay that off. And then whenever Enduring Tenacity dies, if it was a creature, returns to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's an enchantment, so this is one of those enchantment creatures, so it's both an enchantment and a creature. So when it dies, it comes right back, and you still have that ability of when you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. I think that's just great. And the way that it sticks around, enduring, you know, all the enduring stuff. I think they did a great job on those. I think Duskmourn might be one of the more slept on sets in recent memory. Maybe people were scared of it because the story was scary, but I really like a lot of the cards from that set. For that, we cut Lingering Souls for 2 and a white. It's a sorcery that creates 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. It has flashback, so you can do it again and play it out of your graveyard, and then exile it. I just thought there's better stuff, and at sorcery speed, to me, it's just a little on the weaker side. After that, we added one of our first MDFCs, and that is Fell the Profane. I added 3 of these, that type of card. This means that they have 2 like modes, like you can play one side or the other. All 3 of them have a land on one side and basically an instant on each. So land early game, and then this more spell slinging late game. These were very obvious adds to me. And Fell the Profane is really good because it's 2 and 2 black rather, and destroy target creature or planeswalker. So it's great removal. And on the other side, essentially, it can enter in untapped, or you can pay 3 life. It enters tapped, or if you pay 3 life, it'll enter in untapped and can tap for a black source, which is really good. For that, I cut a tap land, Contaminated Aquifer. This land enters tapped, and it can tap for a blue or black. I just thought that the MDFC was way better. I cut 3 tap lands for the MDFCs, so you'll see a theme there. After that, we added Frantic Search. This is 2 and a blue. This is a great card, just because it pays for itself. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards, untap up to 3 lands. If we're trying to spell sling, you know, sometimes mana is going to be like at a premium for us, so if we've got 3 mana up, we can play this card for free, essentially, because we get to untap up to 3 lands and play it for 3. That 3 mana value is the key for our commander. I thought it was a really good card. It's a way for us to like get more non-creature spells in our hand, so we can cast more spells and get more payoffs for the creatures we have on the field. So it's just really, you know, an obvious add for me as well. For that, we cut Rite of Replication. I like this card. It's just there's so many legendaries in here that the copies, you know, it's just, you're not gonna be able to copy all your legendaries, so I thought this would be better placed in a different deck that doesn't run quite as many legendary creatures. Like I said, we're running close to 22 legendary creatures. That's a lot, so I cut that. After that, we've got Helm of the Gas Lord, which just fits this deck perfectly. Throw this on your commander. It's 3 and a blue or black. It has the split mana cost, so you can play either or. Enchant creature, as long as this enchanted creature is blue, gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, draw a card, which is great. We love drawing, and that's very on blue, right? And then as long as enchanted creature is black, it gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, that player discards a card. So this is cool because she deals direct damage, so we get to do like a lot of different. We don't have to swing necessarily, even though there are a lot of pieces in this deck that like would encourage you to swing with your commander. So you get kind of the best of the both worlds with that. I cut Sublime Epiphany for this. This was an instant and does a lot of things, but 6 mana, it's just tough in a deck where you're not going to have access to like really quick mana, and like you're going to need mana rocks, and it's going to be a little slower start, but you know, it's not terrible. Like I said, it's a really good counter, has a lot of utility, but I decided to cut it for the Helm. After that, we've got Rewind, another card that kind of pays for itself, and by kind of, I mean it just outright pays for itself. 2 and 2 blue, counter target spell, so you can counter anything, untap up to 4 lands, so you pay 4, you get to untap 4. Just a no-brainer, gives you more control. There's a lot of pieces of control in this deck already. There's some stacks pieces in this deck. There were some counters outright in this deck, so destroy, you know, target creatures, stuff like, you know, effects in this deck. So just adding more to that for a creature that, like I said, or for a non-creature spell that pays for itself, seemed to be a really good add. We cut the Siphon Mine for this. Again, just drawing cards, like, you know, that's good. It's just for 4 mana at sorcery speed. I'd rather have something at instant speed. I can cast it anytime and kind of play the blue maniacal, leave mana untapped, and just, you never know what I'm gonna do and counting your stuff type of stuff, right? Yeah. Next is another MDFC card. This is Sink into Stupor for 1 and 2 blue. This is an instant that says return target spell or non-land permanent an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Really cool. So you can bounce something or a spell, another response for something, or just bounce a creature that's really giving you issues on that side, and then it can, you know, you can pay basically the same thing. If it comes in tapped, or if you pay 3 life, it comes in untapped and it taps for a blue. And for that, we did cut another one of the lands, and this was the Idyllic Beachfront. Land enters tapped and taps for a whiter blue. Again, just the tap lands, let's get them out. They're too slow, and let's get some MDFCs in that we can play. You know, just gives us an option. Then we have another card that I think is just great for this deck because we're dealing damage. We have Sig River Cutthroat. If you ever watched the Professional channel, he's got a Sig deck, which is pretty cool. A blue and a black, and it's got the split mana for each of those for a 1/3 legendary creature. Why not? Let's add another legendary to the deck. And it says at the beginning of each end step, if an opponent lost 3 or more life this turn, you may draw a card. Pretty cool way. So if like people are swinging at each other, you get that payoff. You're already dealing direct damage with your commander, so if you can like play multiple spells, they're going to take more damage. So you're going to get to draw a lot of cards, which is nice because you want to fill your hand with more cantrips, you know, spells to play, and get those payoffs from those creatures. So that, I thought that was a pretty easy add. For that, we did get rid of Tome of Legends. It's a way to draw cards. It's just very specific on like you playing your commander or whenever it enters or attacks. You know, the attacking is good, but I just thought there was, you know, better stuff than that. After that, we have Unwind, which is very similar to Rewind, and by very similar, I mean it's the exact same, except it's a little cheaper, and instead of any spell, it's a non-creature spell, but it says for 2 and a blue, counter target non-creature spell, and untap up to 3 lands. Again, we're all about like the value engine here because our lands are going to be at a premium. For that, we cut Torrential Gearhulk, and then the last card I want to talk about is Waterlogged Teachings. This is our last MDFC and our last ad. This is 3, a blue or a black. You can pay either or here. For an instant that says, this is great because it's a tutor. Search your library for an instant card or a card with flash, which we have plenty of both in this deck. Put it in your hand, then shuffle. Just a great card. And then on the other side, it can tap for a blue or black. Now this one does come into play tapped, so it is slow. That's okay because it taps for either one, and that's all right because 9 times out of 10 we're going to be playing it for the tutor side anyway. And for that one, we did cut our last land, which was Sunlit Marsh, which enters tapped and taps for a white or black. That's it. I butchered all those names. I apologize. Let's just talk about in the comments how bad I did and have fun with it. Trolls are always welcome. But what do you guys think? What should I have added? Tell me about the lore. I don't know anything about this game. This was way past my Final Fantasy time. I recognize some of the characters. I recognize some of the cat people with the ears. I've seen those at least. That's about as far as I know, though. So I'd love to learn more about the lore of this game, so please educate me in the comments as well. If you want to compete for the deck, just subscribe to the channel, like the video, and then make a thoughtful comment. Easy as that. We'll cover shipping. A lot of people have been asking, so I'll say this. For the winner, we are going to pin the comment in the comments. So that'll be the top comment that just is highlighted. And then we'll comment on that comment with directions on how to verify you are who you are, and we'll get the deck out to you as quickly as possible. Like I said, we will cover shipping. Won't cost you a penny other than just a thoughtful comment and a like and subscribe, which is, you know, great anyway, because you're helping a small channel out like us. But I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun with these deck techs, just learning about Final Fantasy in general, about some of the game, the lore, just the characters. There's a lot of story behind this, a lot of things you can like learn about, which is fun. And just, you know, hearing from your guys' story about how you played different games at different points in your lives and how much it meant to you has been a really cool, like, a way to kind of, like, you know, just dig back into the past. Because I remember playing 7, I remember playing 8, I remember how big Final Fantasy was and how it just kind of kept going even through like high school, and just people who continue to play the franchise. So it's stuck around forever. It's good. Obviously they're doing good because people keep playing it and they keep making games, so good on them. It's been a cool Universes Beyond. Like it or love it, it's been massive. This has been one of the craziest sets I've ever seen as far as like pricing and like just stuff selling out already before like stores even have it in hand. But yeah, thanks again for watching. This has been a great series. Give us a like. Come join the Patreon. I'm sorry, yeah, join the Patreon, but come join Discord, talk about some of this stuff. We're doing some more box breaks soon, so it's just been a lot of fun. The channel's been blowing up lately. We hit 5,000. We're gonna have that party soon, so a lot of news there. It's been great. So from the bottom of my heart, we really thank you guys for following along on this journey. Until then, have a great time. We'll see you on the next video. Bye.